we can send this out to the guys who couldn't be here tonight and wanted to hear a little more about this program. This presentation right now, guys, I really appreciate you guys giving up time during your day. I know it's like mid-afternoon for a lot of you guys, so I appreciate you guys making time in your schedule to hear us talk about our program and what we're going to talk about tonight, postgraduate opportunities for student athletes in American football at Exeter University in the UK. Oh, yeah. So, little introduction to our webinar host. I'm Coach Jack. I am the special teams coordinator and the linebackers coach here for the Exeter Demons. We have Coach Lydon, who's our director of football and our offensive coordinator. And we're super lucky to be joined by Tracy Moore, who's the regional manager of the Middle East and North America for our international student recruitment program. So Gracie is really the one that we want to talk to tonight because she's got all the details and all the knowledge about admissions, finances, eligibility, funding, tuition, all of that stuff. I'm going to talk, and me and Coach Lyon are going to talk for hopefully less than 7 minutes, which is tough for me and him, about the football program. And then we're going to hand over to Tracy, and then we're going to have a lot of time to answer any questions, okay? I would ask, our presentation is quite short, so please hold any questions you have. You can either type them into the chat and we'll get to them when we finish our presentations, or please don't unmute and interrupt. Just save to the end because we'll have a lot of time to answer questions, guys. Okay. So, real quick, introducing like what is the opportunity that we have for you guys potentially at the University of Exeter. So the first thing about this is an opportunity to study in the UK. You're going to earn a world-class education from a truly globally recognized university. Okay. The first thing about this, okay, this is not just a football opportunity. This is a education opportunity, which is the most valuable thing for us. Okay. And we really are a globally recognized university here at Exeter. It's a chance to immerse yourself in a new culture, a chance to travel to Europe and have a really, unique experience that looks fantastic to employers, to, just as a general life experience. It's really, really cool. You have the opportunity, and I'm saying you have the opportunity to play another year of college football, which is the best thing in the whole world for me, college football. Okay. You have another year to play it and another opportunity to compete for a national championship. NCAA eligibility does not matter over here. So if you're an eighth year super senior like Cam Rising at Utah and you played forever in college football, doesn't matter. You can play here in the UK. We are outside of the NCAA. And the really cool opportunity is that unless you're getting a scholarship on a graduate program in the US, a master's degree in the UK takes less time and costs less money than in the US. So the opportunity is for guys who are former or currently graduating NCAA, NAIA, or youth sports athletes, America and Canada as well. We want guys who want to pursue a master's degree. That's what that's why you're coming to us. You want to pursue a master's degree and you want to continue to play football. We are looking for guys who are financially able to undertake postgraduate study, and Tracy will expand on what that actually looks like during her part of the presentation. And we want guys who want to come become leaders on a developing football team, because that's really what we are here in the UK. We are a developing football team. A lot of our players who are British students have never played the game before they come to university. We want you guys to come and share your enthusiasm, your love of the game, your knowledge of the game with us as coaches and our players to constantly uplift and develop our program. So a little bit about UK university football. Right now, it is bigger than ever, okay? We play as a team, the Exeter Demons, we play in the extremely competitive Premiership South Division. We were the 2023-24, which was last season's Division 1 national champions, and that earned us promotion to our current division, which is the highest division that the club has ever played in. So we are an ascending football team, and we want to take the next steps as a program to start recruiting former NCAA and NAIA youth sports athletes. A little bit about what our national championship game is. The national championship series, because there is a number of different divisions, like in FBS, FCS, D2, D3, NIA. That opens Bucks Big Wednesday, which is essentially the culmination of all the university sports Essentially, it's like the Olympics pushed into one day. American football opens it up every year on the Tuesday, and it's an awesome event, and we want to be there. Uh, we want to be in the conversation to be there every year that this program is around. So I recruited a lot of you guys from Euro players, right? A lot of you guys I'm seeing here would have reached out to you guys via Euro players, and that's because you guys are whatever your situation is in the States, you want to come and play football in Europe, you want to be a professional football player, okay? I was a pro football player after playing football in Europe. Some of our coaches were as well, and have gone on to be a pro coach. It's the coolest thing in the world, guys. UK university football receives a lot of attention from all professional leagues in Europe, okay, as a recruiting ground for both European and American imports, okay? There are other schools in the UK that are competing to recruit you guys. We feel we are the best one out of that, and we want you guys to come to Exeter. We all have connections and can get you guys opportunities in Europe. Okay. A lot of the time, and I'm speaking from experience as a coach who has worked in Europe and recruited American players, a coach's word of mouth that I know and trust, and we have all these connections, matters a lot in terms of your recruiting potential within Europe. Uh, in the European League of Football, which some of you might know, it's the largest European League of Football in the UK. It spans across 9 countries and 18 teams: Germany, Switzerland, Hungary, Czech Republic, Poland, Sweden now. It's 2 teams in Spain, France, all over the place. The UK had the most European imports of any European country in that league, apart from the ones that had homegrown players in. Okay, so professional leagues in Europe look at university football in the UK as an opportunity. We want to recruit these guys. Okay, the Bucks season, which is what we play, and Bucks is our version of the NCAA. It runs from October through to March, whereas pro leagues run from April to August. So there's no clash of schedule. Okay. You can essentially go from coming here, playing a season of university football, taking some time, and then go in to play a pro league in Europe, get paid to do so. There's no clash of schedule with any of our stuff. Okay, guys. And last year, we sent 3 players and 1 coach with myself, 2 professional contracts in Europe, which was the most of any university team in terms of just UK players. Okay. We had 2 guys signed for the Potsdam Royals in the German Football League, and they ended up winning the national championship there, which is a really competitive league in Germany. And then myself and one of our current offensive linemen played in the European League or coached in the European League of Football, and it's an awesome opportunity that we can help you get there with. Okay, so when you're coming here and you're thinking, do I want to come and do this? We want you to be an academic minded person first. We want you to come here because you want to get a master's degree, but understand that we can get you bigger and better opportunities within European professional football. I'm going to pass over to Coach Lydon, who's going to talk a little bit more about our program uh, right now. Okay.
Yeah, so hi guys. So just to expand on that a little bit, so it's not just last year. We've had a bit of a perennial run now of sending guys out to Europe. I also just had 2 more guys this week signed to go play in the ELF this season coming. So they've got themselves sort of 2 really nice contracts out to play in Prague this summer. So pretty cool place to go, and just as an experience from there. Um, we also had a guy on the team last year get a NCAA scholarship and Division One, so he's out there playing at Jacksonville State this year. And we also had 3 guys in the CFL Combine last year. So it's, although you maybe not even heard that there is football in the UK, there is certainly an amount of talent, and we like to try and develop guys to get them where they want to go, and get them to the opportunities they want. As Coach Jack said, we have a lot of contacts. We know a lot of people to be able to get you there. So you guys put the work in, and we'll do everything we can to get you where you want to go in this sport. And that's kind of always been the deal, really. And it shows from just the people we had last year and then the years before, and want to have more and more every year going to, I played in Europe, same as Coach Jack. It's a really great experience, and we want other people to have that as well. Just because, you get paid to play the sport that you love. Why would you not want to do that? Um, so yeah, I think that's the main thing for us. We're just, perennial playoff team, national championship last year, and now we're just in a higher division, better quality players and opponents. So we just want to make sure we're as good as we can be, bringing in experienced guys like yourself for our rookies to learn from as well. and just have those kind of role models for them to look up to and set the standard, really.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. We're going to pass on now to Tracy, who's going to talk to you about the important stuff that me and Coach Lyden don't know about yet. Okay.
Thanks, both. That was really exciting. My section's going to be a lot drier, I'm sorry, than that, because mine's a lot of sort of finance information, but hopefully it's useful. And like we said, happy to answer any questions that you have. So Jack, if you could just move it on, that'd be great. Thank you. Um, We've obviously mentioned where we are. So we're in the southwest of England, so a really, really beautiful part of the country, just 2 hours from London by train. We have about 30,000 students across our campuses, and about 7,500 of those students are international students. So from about 150 different countries, including more than 200 students from the US and also North America. So a really, really great community of students. Thanks, Jack. And then just a really quickly show you our region. British people come on holiday, on their holiday here because it's so beautiful. We're on the edge of Dartmoor National Park, so like hiking, horse riding, and then we're surrounded by these wonderful beaches. So I live by the sea, about 20 minutes by train. And our city centre, our city is a UNESCO City of Literature. It's just a really lovely feel to our cathedral city, a really nice mix of the modern and the history. So thanks, Jack. And then just to flag our new Exeter Excellence scholarships. So we're really excited about these this year. It's a whole range of scholarships, £3,000, £5,000 and £10,000 scholarships for our master's programs that students can apply for once they have an offer at the university. So the first deadline for master's scholarships is the end of February. Our admissions teams are getting offers out really quickly, around about a week at the moment. So it's typically up to 20 days, but currently it's sort of 5 days that students can apply and then hear back about their application. It's a short personal statement, just 300 words that students use to apply for this, and it's based partly on academic merit. So if you're from the US and you've got a GPA around 3.2, that would meet the academic requirements. I know some students are here from Canada, so obviously if you've got Canadian different scales, then just let me know and I can let you know the typical sort of grade they'd look for these new scholarships. Thanks, Jack. And then just to give you an idea of costs, so I've just picked out some typical sort of programs. Obviously, I'm sat in our business school at the moment. We were Business School of the Year in the Times, so really great area for things like management, marketing. So there for a 1 year master's, they're around £30,000, so around $39,000. And you've got some examples there of sport management, international relations, and psychology. We do also have some programs in our business school that have an additional year where you can get really valuable industrial experience, so paid work placements as well. So we have 2 year options for some of our business school programs as well. Thanks, Jack. And I'll put all these links in the chat afterwards so you can sort of have a good read after. For accommodation, so the contracts vary from about 40 to 51-week contracts, and they start from around £154 per week for a standard room in Lafrauda, which is literally just behind me, just behind our business school here. And then obviously a lot of master's students may want their own bathroom or to stay in a little studio that has its own kitchen. So we have a whole range of accommodation options that are available for students. And again, I'll post a nice link where you can have a look depending on your budget and what you'd like included in your room. Thanks, Jack. And then just the flag again for US students. I know we have a lot of Canadian students that study with us on things like the Ontario Student Assistance Project. But for US students, a lot of our master's students are studying here using FAFSA loans from the US government. So I'll put again a link in the chat to more information about this. And we have a fantastic US loan funding team, and I've put the email address there. And again, I'll put that in the chat. But you can read a lot of information online about the eligibility for this financial aid, the type of loans that you can get. For US students, they're called unsubsidized direct loans, and it will show you how much you can borrow as well and what the eligibility is. Thanks, Jack. Thank you. And then just to say, this is a typical sort of average cost of living that our US loan funding team would use to determine how much that you would be able to borrow. So these are just typical costs. And again, you can take your time and have a look at those properly. And then your tuition fees would then be on top of that typical cost of attendance. But again, I'll share the links so you can see all of that breakdown. Thanks, Jack. The next slide. And then just to give you a typical entry requirements for us. So you'll see on our individual program pages, each program will tell you what we're typically looking for. And it will give you either the equivalent of a UK 2-1 degree or a UK 2-2 degree. And for the US, we would equate a 2-2 UK degree to a grade above around 2.6 from a US bachelor degree, and that would be 2.6 out of 4 or above. And then for those programs that ask for the equivalent of a 2-1 degree, we would equate that to a GPA around 3.2 out of 4. However, if your grades are maybe slightly lower than this, do not worry. Often they are referred to the faculty, to the colleges, so they can look at your experience and any sort of professional qualifications or work experience you may have. So they consider your application as a whole. Some really great things for you as North American students. Our masters, like I've said, are typically just 1 year, whereas they would be 2 years in the US. We also, you don't need the GRE to apply for our master's programs. We will just look at your qualifications from your bachelor degree and just a supporting personal statement that will go with it and a reference typically. So no GRE and just 1 year instead of 2. So studying a master's in the UK, apart from this fantastic sports opportunities, like I said, you will be getting a master's in just 1 year in the UK. Thanks, Jack. And so that was really quick, but hopefully that's a general overview. I'll also put all these links in the chat while we're sort of taking any questions that you might have. But hopefully that was a really quick overview of that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tracy. Really appreciate that. So, guys, we're going to open the floor now to any questions you have. Just unmute yourself, or if you don't want to unmute yourself, type your question into the chat here, and we will answer them. So, anyone want to kick us off? We got it on chat right here. I'll answer your links. Tracy, I did have a question from someone who I talked to on the phone this week, and it was, sorry, I'm going to kick us off. It was regarding uh apprenticeship degrees. So I think um I'm could you please just talk about apprenticeship degrees real fast for us?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm not familiar with specific apprentice degrees, but what I can say is that a lot of our programs, so things like masters in marketing, masters in management, as I mentioned, they also have the opportunity to do an additional 1 year work experience as part of your program. So you could actually do a 2 year degree rather than a 1 year master's with 1 year of that valuable experience. We also have a lot of programs that have work placements or internships as part of them. So again, you're getting that valuable work experience. We have a partnership with a company called Handshake, and Handshake works with hundreds and hundreds of employers. And so on that platform that we have, students our students sign up for that, and then they can see all those opportunities for both paid and voluntary work placements that they can do. We have a really great career mentor scheme where you can buddy up with a former student that's done really well in their career, and they can give you guidance for like, I think it's like 2 or 3 months of your master's degree. So we have got a lot of opportunities for you to get really valuable work experience as part of your program. But I can try and find out more about specific apprenticeships if that's of interest. And our engineering business management program, anyone interested in engineering, that also has a 2-year option as well.
Thank you. The same player who I talked to us about as he has an associate degree. Do you need
Yeah.
a bachelor's degree to do these courses?
That's a really, really great question. So I assume that you've done a 2-year associate degree in the US. So for depending on what your subject is, oh sorry, I'm just going to really quickly put the light on. The lights have gone on in the room. Sorry. Okay, so for an associate degree, it depends what program that you're interested in, but say you're interested in business, what they would do is they would look at your 2-year associate degree, and if that matches what our first year students will have studied in their bachelor degree, you can use that to potentially go into year 2 of a 3-year bachelor degree. If they look at it and it hasn't quite covered the areas that our students would have covered in their first year, then you could use your associate degree to go into year 1 of a 3-year bachelor. But like I said, potentially you could go into year 2 with it. So you would then just do 2 years of our bachelor degree rather than 3 years. So hopefully that's helpful.
Thank you. Cleve has asked, are there any opportunities for a bachelor's degree in communications?
Yeah, really great question. I'll put the link in, but we've got some really, really good bachelors in media and communications. For that subject, we're UK top 10 for that. Things like English, we're world top 50, creative writing. So we've got the Bill Douglas Cinema Museum on campus. It's the largest film collection of film memorabilia outside London. We've got the Digital Humanities Lab that are doing a lot to digitize a lot of really rare manuscripts and different objects from our Royal Albert Memorial Museum. They work with the cathedral to digitize information there. So for communications, we've got some really great media programs. So you could do communications, you could do media and communications and film. There's a whole load of different areas in that. So really, really great option. 3-year bachelor degree. So obviously in the US, it could be minimum of 4, potentially 5 years, whereas you could get a bachelor's and a master's in just 4 years in the UK. So a really, really great option. And if you want to ask me separately about sort of tests that we accept like APs, ACT, honours classes. So a lot of different qualifications you can use to get entry for that program.
Thank you. I'm gonna let Coach Lyon answer this one. This is from Jashawn. Do we have any athletic scholarships here at the university?
Yeah, I was just going to point that one out actually. So we don't at the moment for American football. You can though apply to be what's called a performance athlete, which means that if you are playing at a high enough level, then you can apply to be one of the university's performance athletes, which means that you can get access to sort of funding for travel. So if you need to go to, camps or anything like that, or any sort of costs that you might incur to play football at that level, they will cover that. And also gets you access to sort of the high-end gym facilities, nutrition, physio, that sort of thing. So yeah, you would then become a performance athlete for that year at the university. It does depend to be a little bit sort of individual as to what the needs of the person was. We've had players do it before where they played for the Great Britain team, so that's covered like their costs of going to training, or some of the players went and played in a game in Milan, and that covered their flights and things like that. So it is a little bit sort of case by case, but the main thing is the gym, the nutrition, the physio. That's probably the biggest things from it. Um, and we have some ability from the club to kind of support in terms of, like equipment and everything like that. So it would very much reduce or almost eliminate any co your cost to play football, if that makes sense. But yeah, there's nothing in terms of sort of tuition or anything like that from the academic side, from the athletic side, sorry, currently.
Mhm. I'm just going to answer Tristan and Lawrence's question in one. We like a lot of our team guys are guys who have never played football before. Okay, so you guys, they're like whatever degree you're on, if you're here, we want you to play football for us, and you're probably going to be a lot better than the average. Well, you are going to be way better than the average UK player here. That's kind of, whatever program you're on, you don't have to earn a walk-on spot, whatever. You're eligible to play if you're registered with a course on the university, and we want you to come and play for us, okay?
We don't cut
So
people.
yes, we don't
Yeah,
cut people. So we have, like for example, I think what we've really moved to this year is just to kind of even add on further onto that. We use more first year players, completely new players to the game because American football at the youth level before there's no high school football in the UK. There is club American football, kind of like there's club soccer in the US, but that's very few and far between. So most of our players actually do not play any football before university. We get them for a 4 week preseason and we try and turn them into great football players. But with you guys coming over with some experience, hopefully we can, hopefully you guys can elevate our performance on the team. So you guys are in if you're here, okay? Pretty much. Um, Trace, we got a great question here from Drew. He's asked, are you able to further explain the Ontario financial offerings?
I think she
Yeah,
just
I've
replied.
I've
Yeah.
just replied
Oh,
to Drew.
yes.
So
Sorry.
I've just said I'll speak with our North America funding team. So we've got a really, really great loan team at the university and ask them for some more information for you about that specific funding opportunity. Okay. I've put the general link in there that's on the Canadian website itself, but let me find out some information for you. If that's okay, Jacqueline, if I send that to you and you can then give
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
to Drew if that's helpful.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll find out some more specific information about that
So just
program.
following on for a couple of questions, Lawrence, just to your question as well. So it doesn't matter what level of degree you need to be studying, you just need to be doing 60 credits, which is even if you're doing a part-time master's or a part-time bachelor's degree, that's enough credits. So yeah, it'd have to be a really sort of minimal amount of credits to make you eligible to play sport. So yeah, so pretty much all courses are going to cover that. So there's no issues from that side of things. Um, and then the other one was in terms of the physio. So that was a physio that I was talking about. That's provided by the university. So they have an in-house one that the performance athletes get to use. We also have our own physio that is attached to the club. So they will come to our midweek training sessions, and we have treatment slots available for players. And then if they need further treatment, then we will sort of refer them to our physio sort of for midweek sessions if they need extra treatment and things like that as well. And we do support with that as well to a degree. Obviously, it can get a little bit crazy if you're trying to send 20 guys to a physio all at once. But yeah, so we do offer that as well, just to try and sort of take one more thing off your guys' plate as well.
Mhm. Yes, we are sending a recording of the webinar when it's over. So, Coach, I'm gonna answer true questions here, okay?
Yep.
So, you've asked, what is the daily football schedule like from October to the end of the season? So we practice. So our operation here as a football team, because all of our coaches are volunteers, so no one here is an employee of the university apart from Tracy. And then a lot of us have, we have a varied amount of hours that we can give to the program, right? So me and Coach Lydon give like probably 20, 30 hours out of our week unpaid on top of our 9 to 5s. We have about 10 or 11 other coaches that can give, a commit to practice as well. We practice Wednesday and we have a film session on Wednesday. Then we go straight into practice for 2 hours and we practice on Sunday morning. If we have a game that week, we also will have a less formal practice on a Saturday. Okay, but you are off from Monday. You're off Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, nothing we do from a schematic point of view is particularly difficult. We do a lot of Zoom calls like this to get extra time with you guys throughout the week. For example, all of my special teams stuff, I get 6 minutes in class, and then I do a online session to get you guys ready the game. Same with offense and defense. Okay. During the day though, during the day all through the week, you're not doing any football unless you're going to the gym on your own or doing a physio session on your own. We don't have that kind of daily practice. Okay. It's also important to note, like, we don't class check. Okay. We don't do any like early morning meetings. We don't do any early morning conditioning, or we at least don't enforce that as a coaching staff. Okay. Because we're all volunteers here. Okay, if that clears that up for you. Um, our operation, in my opinion, is, and I've been around a lot of, so has Coach Lydon, a lot of UK university teams. We have probably the best operation in terms of our practice and our equipment available in the country. Okay. Outside of maybe one or two teams. Okay. We're really trying to, me and Coach Lydon both have experience in the NCAA, which we've gone and sought out and been unpaid volunteers at, just to try and get that knowledge and bring it back and try and upgrade our program to get it as close as possible to like a Division 3 school. Okay, so I think that answers that question about kind of the daily schedule right there. Um,
Shall I pick up the one about
yep,
jobs, general
yep.
jobs?
I
Um,
can do that as well. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, okay. So if I pick it up from a general aspect, so just to say that on a student visa for if you're studying more than 6 months, you can work up to 20 hours per week on your visa. So a lot of our students will have to get part-time jobs to obviously support them. So we've got a fantastic careers team. They do about 900 events every year. They'll look at your CV, they do mock job interviews, employers come and talk about job opportunities. We're only a 15-minute walk from the city centre. So a lot of students will some will work on campus. We have like paid student ambassadors, or maybe they'll work in restaurants and different places in the city as well. As I mentioned, we have that handshake partnership to talk about opportunities. So there's that as well. So a lot of opportunities to do that. However, obviously, just to bear in mind that a master's program, because it is a 1 year program, it is an intensive program. So we wouldn't recommend working all those hours, even though you can work up to 20 hours. So there's a balance between your studies and your extracurricular activities, your sport, and a part-time job as well. But you can work up to 20 hours on your visa.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's maybe not the most glamorous option, but we're sponsored by Domino's Pizza, so we get free pizzas after the games, and we get discount and free, yeah, basically a lot of free pizza. So yeah, we obviously have a really good relationship with them, and we have had players then been able to get jobs because they're always looking for people. So as an easy part-time job that's quite flexible with hours as well. So that's just another opportunity we've got as well.
Mhm.
I think there was
Okay,
just one
cool.
more slightly further up about
Yeah.
the from Lawrence about the associate degree, which I wasn't sure about.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'd have to because that's quite a specific program, an apprenticeship program. We'd have to get a bit of advice about that to check eligibility and check if international students as well as home students can do an apprenticeship program. Which were you talking about a specific program there, Lawrence? Just to check that, because as I mentioned, normally our masters, our bachelor degrees would normally be a 3 year degree. You can include like a year in there where you would do a work placement as well. But we do have some engineering programs that have apprenticeships, that sort of thing. But we just need to check eligibility for international students for some of those.
You said any program.
Okay, we can check what might a lot of apprenticeship programs might be for UK home students that are sponsored by our UK government. So we just need to check sort of if international students would be eligible for any specific apprenticeship programs, but we can ask about that.
You want to pick up Drew's question as well, Coach Lyden there about
Yeah.
the hours per week and
Yeah,
travel
so I
options.
mean, I would say it just kind of depends on you being organized. We've had players that have they've done PhDs and they've been to every session. They've, also working a job at the same time. It's just sort of being organized as an adult kind of thing. So I wouldn't say the football element of it is going to take up a vast amount of time. And yeah, it's just sort of how you organize yourself. So I mean, even from the master's point of view, we have a lot of students that do masters and they still manage to, completely have a life and do other things as well as football. It's not all encompassing sort of thing. It's just I suppose being organized and sort of managing your time well. So yeah, it's not going to be like working a 9 to 5. There's still going to be a lot of time to do other stuff, but I think as Tracy says, it's just also it's not going to be really easy and a complete DOS at the same time, sort of thing. So it's a balance between the two, I think.
Yeah. And if I can just add there that our completion rates are well in the 90% for our bachelor degrees and masters. So students cope very, very well with a 3-year bachelor degree or a 1-year master's in the UK. So hopefully that's reassuring.
And I'm going to throw in as well. If you're thinking about, and a lot of guys have done this at a lot of schools when they come to Europe, is that once you are based in the UK, exploring the rest of Europe, like flights to Italy, Spain, Central Europe, super, super cheap. Okay. And, you can go for like 2 days and then come back, football, come back to class. And it's like not that much money out of your pocket. And it's a really, really cool experience. You have an opportunity definitely here because we have a break over the winter term. Our last game is usually the first week of December. And then we have about a month off where you may want to go and travel home to the UK and then to the USA or to Canada, and then the second part of our season, like the second half. So that's where it differs slightly from an American season where you go from like August to November. We go October to December break and then go January to March. There's a lot of time there, and especially once our season ends in March, if you're here until the summer, you have all of that time as well after the football season to travel around Europe as well, affordably as well. So that's a big one for guys coming from North America. Okay, nice.
Cool. I think we've all pretty much dried up unless anyone's got any more.
We're 40 minutes, so we're at the where we wanted to be at, so that's really good. All good, Drew, no worries. Nice. Okay, so everyone here should have I'm just gonna wrap this up now, so we don't have any questions. Everyone here should have
Question.
oh, we got a question. I'm sorry. When would we need to decide by Tracy? When would they need to apply by?
Yeah, so typically the majority of our master's degrees start in September. So we do have some master's degrees that start in January, but typically our bachelor's and our master's programs start each September. So students have to have provided all their documentation and met any conditions of their offer by typically the end of August. However, for visa purposes, obviously, we really encourage you to apply. If you're interested in scholarships, just make sure you apply by scholarship deadlines. Like I said, the first undergraduate and master's scholarship deadline is the end of February. I think it's the 27th of February. So in order to get your offer, we'd recommend applying by sort of the start of February at the latest for that. There will typically be a second round for master's scholarships as well. That's typically around sort of April deadline. But yeah, so we'd encourage you to apply as soon as possible. If, say, for example, you're currently doing your bachelor degree and you won't finish until the sort of next year, you can still apply now and get a conditional offer based on achieving a certain GPA when you complete your degree next year. So even if you haven't completed your bachelor degree yet, say you're in your final year, you can still apply now and get a conditional offer. If you've already completed your degree, then you can apply from now. And like I said, typically we encourage you to apply before sort of the end of May, that sort of time, to give you plenty of time to get your offer, to apply for your visa and get that in time. However, if you're interested in scholarships, then just make sure you're aware of scholarship deadlines. And like I said, the next deadline is the end of February, and it will likely take you up to 20 days to get an offer. Like I said, currently it's around 5 days, so they're very quick, but just make sure you've got plenty of time in case admissions need to ask you for extra information.
Awesome. Thanks, Tracy. So you guys all have my contact on Europlayers. If you go to the Exeter Demons Europlayers page, there's also Coach Lyon's contact. You can reach out to us on there. You can reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter, CoachFar1. I will probably send you guys not only I'll probably send you guys like a post meeting kind of summary of everything we talked about and all of the useful information we talked about, and some further contact details if you want to get in contact with myself or Coach Lydon or Tracy personally. Tracy, I'm just going to put up the email one more time of
Shall I put
the,
it in the chat of America's
I've
team
got it
as
right
well?
here, Americas at exeter.ac.uk. So very memorable. Okay,
Yeah, it
guys.
is.
Okay, so we should so you have contact details. I'm just gonna wrap us up now and say really appreciate you guys coming. Like this has been awesome for us. Me and Lion are, really, really excited to continuously keep upgrading our program here. And we feel like if we can get some of you guys over here, you're gonna have a great experience. We're gonna win a lot of football games, which is fun as heck. Okay, and it's great for us. And you're gonna have a great experience here, and hopefully we can push you on to the next stage of your life with a master's degree from Exeter. Would you guys like to make any wrapping up comments as well? Was that pretty good?
No, I think you covered it pretty well,
That was
actually.
great.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, awesome.
Great. And
Thanks, guys. I'm going to stop the meeting now, and everyone have a great evening. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
bye.